legal immigration, we're for that as our Republicans for coming in, as President Trump would say, the great big golden door, coming in legally and so forth. So we're all for that. And sometimes I hear people talk about, well, what about being Christian and loving your neighbor? We can love our neighbor in their own country. And how many of us belong to churches who support missions and who support adopt children? Not literally, but some people do literally, but and support children, support orphanages, and our federal government sends millions, if not billions, I'm sure, overseas to many of these same countries. So we can love our neighbor in their own country and to come here legally. Thank you, sir. He gave me back my notes so I don't get lost and stay up here forever wondering what I'm supposed to say next. Thank you. I appreciate that. So thank you so much, Representative Griffey. Our next speaker for the evening is Tennessee State Senator Pody. He is always a high-energy, dynamic speaker. He's another bold conservative leader here in Tennessee. As a matter of fact, it seems that whenever I attend a rally on a conservative issue, whether it's about our November 2020 election, with the Stop the Steal rallies back in November, and or whether it's health freedom, pro-life, illegal alien issues, Senator Pody is there. He's speaking out. He's leading the good fight for conservative causes here in Tennessee. Please help me welcome our speaker, Senator Pody. And thank you so much for coming, sir.
Yeah! Good evening, Pody! You want to use it? All right!
You may be one person who doesn't need to. Lots of people think they don't.
I am excited to be here, and I've got to tell you, I'm so excited to be here with First Todd. And I'm going to tell you, your representative on committee today, I was the chairman of the committee, and he was immediately to my right. And I knew that there was going to be something conservative coming. He was going to stand right there and vote that way, ask the right questions. So I appreciate it. He was on the committee with me. He'll be on the committee again with me tomorrow. Is it God? Let's give him a hand, okay? Now, I got to thank Representative Bruce Griffey for something, because he's kind of known as a wild man up there. And they say, Pody, if it wasn't for him, I'd be the wildest, okay? If there's something that's going to be the most conservative going on right there, Griffey's going to say, I'm going to run that anyway, even if he's going to say, he'll bring me a bill. I'll say, Representative, this is not going to pass. He said, I don't care. It's the right thing to do. I don't care. It's the right thing to do. So if I'm asking him something, do you think this will pass? I don't care. It's the right thing to do. So, Bruce, I appreciate that. And if you look behind him, okay, he's got a shirt on right now, but he's got a lot of holes in his back because he is stabbed on the back many times. But he stands there anyway, and he's willing to be a target and willing to be that person so other people can come up behind him and support him where he might be a voice that the others don't hear.
You are too, Mark. You are too. You do.
And I am. And I will tell you, we were just told about Watchmen on the Wall. Now, my brothers and sisters, I don't want to get too preachy on here, but I talk to God. All right? And God talks to me. And I've actually said that in committees. I've said it in different spots. And sometimes immediately when the news channels would come out to me and say, now, you talk to God? And I know exactly what they want to do. They want that to be a headline, right? And I say, I pray to a living God. My God's not dead. And he speaks to me. He wants to speak to you. And I said, if you want, I'll introduce you to Jesus Christ. Let me just tell you, they edited that out right away. It's gone. And when you do a news article, and I was on Channel 17 the other night, and there is Congressman Green coming to Wilson County. And she's got some perhaps interesting tweets and Facebooks and sites out there. And so Channel 17 was in there with me and saying, about a 30-minute interview. They're saying, no, Senator Pody, she equated something in one of her Facebooks to getting a shot as like the Holocaust. Now, how do you think all the Jewish people feel about that? My response is this: the Jewish people just had 4,000 bombs shot at their country this year. And the United States did nothing. I said, the Jewish people are more concerned about the lack of the United States standing up in the treaties that we promised them. They are some tweet somebody made. You know what got put on TV? Senator Pody doesn't know what they feel. And it's interesting how they can manipulate whatever news you're talking about and what you hear in the press. And I told my wife, I was there. That's not what I said or how I said it. But you can make a question and then they can give you the answer on TV in a different way. Now, I am going to mention Ezekiel 3:17. And Ezekiel 3:17 is where they talk about the watchman on the wall. And I'm just going to flat tell you, I told God, I said, God, you have fulfilled everything in my life. I am blessed. And I was just thanking God, and I said, God, I am ready to step down. I've got 12 grandkids. And go home and be with my grandkids. I said, if you've got somebody else to do this, I'm ready to step down. I'm done. Let me just tell you, folks, it's not fun up there. It is not fun. It's not fun to be poked at, not fun to be called names, not fun for your family to have to go through that. It's not fun when you make a tough vote and people that you thought were behind you are gone. It's not fun when there's just one issue that you think, boy, I'm with you 99% of the time, but this one I'm not comfortable with. But either you're with somebody 100% or you're not. Sometimes that's not fun. So I'm telling God, I said, God, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to be done. But this is exactly what I believe the Lord told me. He said, I have placed you there like watchmen on the wall. And he directed me to Ezekiel 3:17. And he told me, he said, if you do see evil coming, and you don't call it out, and they die in their iniquity, that blood will be on your hands. But if you do call it out, and they continue to do that evil, your hands are clean, and the blood is on them. And as much as I can tell you, I was up preaching at a church in Salina earlier this year. And in the middle of me just sharing with the congregation, God told me something. He said, I want you to tell the people this. He said, I want you to tell them that the evil we're talking about is no longer out there, but it's inside the wall. Now, my brothers and sisters, you take that and you pray through it and see what God's telling you. I'm just here to deliver that message, and I'm supposed to deliver that message everywhere I go. So as much as I can tell you in this nation, or in this state, there is evil inside the wall. Now, I'll get to tell you something else. 200 years ago, can you picture the political debate? It was the nation had just voted and accepted the first state on the other side of Mississippi. It is now part of the nation. And now we got another state, Missouri, wants to come and be a part of the United States. And they're debating that. Should we let them come in or not? I mean, if they're on the other side of the Mississippi, they're heathens. They're wild. What do they know? And they want to be a part of this nation? I can picture that debate, expansion or not. 200 years ago. 20 years ago, on September 11th, we were bombed. We were attacked. The towers in New York, the Pentagon. Terrorists came and attacked the United States. Now, we're actually going to be holding a memorial event on that. And we've got Colonel Oliver North coming to Wilson County. And I believe in God things, okay? We were trying to get an event center somewhere that would be able to hold as many people as we anticipate coming. We couldn't find anywhere. Last time we were looking at something, we had it last year, and we held it in Murfreesboro. Cost us about $12,000. So I went to the same embassy suites this year and said, hey, you know us, we're that conservative group. We want to rent the whole hotel again in Murfreesboro. And I said, we can do it. I said, okay. They said $41,000.
Wow. Oh,
And so we just turned over to the Lord, and this guy comes up within a week. He says, I've got 100,000 square foot warehouse, air conditioned, and I'm going to let you have it for your event, free. I thought, God, you are just so awesome. You are so awesome. So we also got Alan Keyes coming. Then, in addition to that, we're flying in somebody, and we've got the detective from New York. He was the head detective on the police department that investigated the 9/11 bombing. We also have the guy that actually was there, and if you watch him on TV, he actually pulled the United States flag out of the rubble. They're coming as well. This event, we're going to actually go is a little bit farther. So we're going to remember what happened on 9/11, but we're also going to remember something else that happened to each and every one of us underneath our watch. The rights and freedoms that we gave up through things like the Patriot Act that we think is normal today. To think it's okay for us just to go to the airport to get on an airline. We can't just go in anymore. They almost have to